Welcome back to Cooking with Belage. In this episode, we will be making our delicious chocolate chip cookie recipe. Alright everyone, today we're going to start with our butter. Get that nice and softened up. You don't want to have it melted per se, you just want to have it soft enough so you could beat it with your whisk and your sugar, which we're going to be adding later on. That's 1.5 sticks that we're using today. That's about 3/4 pound butter. Smash that in there. Now you're really going to enjoy these delicious, yummy, tasty cookies here today. Look at those chocolate chip cookies. Don't you wish you could be eating some of those right now? Yeah. We're going with 1/2 cup of sugar for this recipe, and in the bowl it goes. So what we're going to want to do is, this is called the creaming process. We're going to cream together the butter and the sugar for these cookies. You want a pretty homogeneous mixture here. No clumps, no chunks of butter in there that'll gonna melt in the oven. We're trying to make more so it's the consistency of a paste, really, with this butter and sugar. Once again, we're having some problems with the whisking. It just never hurts to poke out the mixture as you go. Just a couple clumps. All right, and then we're back with the mixing. Thanks for holding onto that table for me. And as you see, we're about halfway there with our cream mixture. Always pause when you need to break out the clumps. So once you start getting this a little bit more homogenized, we're gonna start seeing a little bit of a texture building here. Make sure you clump that together. See, you see how that's starting to stick to the side of the bowl there, and sort of a smooth, just a gliding paste. Now I'm going to go in with our eggs here. We're going to use 2 eggs, crack them in one at a time. In goes the first egg. These are whole eggs here, full sized. We're going in with our second egg. Crack it open. Make sure you crack it on the table and not the side of the bowl. We're going to mix that into our mixture, and that'll really loosen up our mixture and make it a lot easier to mix with that whisk. So this is going to be much more, it's closer to a batter really with the cookie dough. You might see the eggs and the butter may not want to mix completely at first. The eggs are high protein content, where the butter is more of a fatty substance. So fat and protein generally don't want to mix. If you really beat at it, really get it mixed up there correctly, eventually you start to get a smooth mixture there. 1 cup of flour. And we'll be adding more cups of flour as we go. It's really, you want to add it in addition so as not to overbeat the mixture, and also to make sure you're incorporating all of the flour and getting rid of any clumps as soon as possible. So this is a nice, easy dessert that you can make with your friends and your family. Cup of flour. So that is 2 cups of flour in the dough so far. We can add more based on the feel. This is really, make sure you're tasting your dough as you go along and make sure you have the proper proportions of everything. And this is really just you cooking. This is you baking. This recipe is really more of a template than anything, just so you get the basic techniques down of whisking the batter together and all the ingredients. We're going to add a little bit of salt. Salt and chocolate chip cookies. This is a Morton's sea salt, Mediterranean. You could use kosher, or you could use fine table salt, ionized salt, all good. With the chocolate, the semi-sweet chocolate, a little bit of salt goes a long way into boosting the chocolate flavor, as well as just making the whole cookie just a little bit more zing. In it goes. Make sure you get it evenly incorporated. And now, we're using about 8 ounces of dark chocolate chip. This is a generic variety. And you're going to want to use all 8 ounces of that. So pour it right in there. I like heavy chocolate chips in my dough here. Make sure every single bite of that cookie, you want at least some chocolate in every single bite. So make sure you get that all incorporated throughout the dough. And it'll get a lot harder to mix here, but we're almost done. We're almost done. Make sure you wipe off your whisk. Get all that dough off of there. And now, once you're ready, we're gonna let that cool in the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour. Really let that dough settle down and rest before we start making our balls. But for the sake of time, we're gonna get right into it. So I recommend very strongly that you either oil or flour your hands when you're starting to handle these dough balls. It'll make it a lot easier to prevent sticking on your hands. So to do a dough ball, just rub it in between your hands. Nice and smooth. That's one down. Rub it in between your hands so you get that nice ball, and then what you want to do here is just always add more flour if you need to. It'll make it a lot easier on yourself. And we finally, when we start to be able to get that onto the baking sheet, you press it down flat in between your hands, get a nice hockey puck shape, like so. And that is your chocolate chip cookie dough. This looks so good, I want to eat the dough right now. Once you've had a taste of these cookies, you're not going to want to share them with anybody.